This is Story Route Zero, a podcast where friends gather to talk of their travels through the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, and even the confusing worlds encountered in games. We may not always know where we're going, but that's often half the fun. Do you have a question, comment, concern, or a story of your own? Hit us up on Twitter at storyroute_0. You can email us at storyroute0@gmail.com, and you can find everything we do at storyroute0.com. Let's have a journey. Who would sacrifice the great-grandsons and daughters of her jealous mother by sucking their brain until their ability to think was amputated, by pimping their instincts until they were fat, horny, and strung out in her neurotic attempt to be queen of the universe? Who is this bitch? Welcome to Story Route Zero. My name is Matthew Kiel, and that was Funkadelic. America Eats Its Young. I've got a couple friends with me. Clearly in a wasteland that is New Jersey. Jason Marshall, how are you? And the mouth from the south who's still not wearing a pink suit. Moose Kluel, how are you?
Doing well, man. What's up?
I was at the mountains this weekend, and
Very nice.
I helped Reba's uncle push out the dock to the lake, and I'm tired.
It happens.
Yeah. So, this is Story Route Zero, episode 26. We talk about video games, but not before we ask how everyone's weekend was. Jason, how was the wasteland?
2 thumbs.
Two thumbs up, okay. Moose, thumbs up, thumbs down. How was your weekend? Only 1 thumb up. Okay, we're not going to press that because he specifically asked us next in the last episode. So what'd y'all do this weekend? We could pad this out. Jason's drinking, so
just hung out around the house.
Speaking of drinking,
Saturday. Oh, my neighbor was taking down trees in his yard all week. So last weekend I helped. He has a tree in the backyard and 2 in the front, like big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like the size of probably your waist, if not bigger. Like they're huge ass. And so he
You just call him fat?
I just called him fat. I was
Not
trying
wrong.
to give him, wow.
Not wrong.
Trying to give him like a size, like a
But you're
diameter.
saying he's not fat. He's built like a tree trunk.
That's right. He's tough. But anyways, so helped him last weekend.
They call me Matt Tree Trunk Keel.
Helped him take down the last of the tree branches on the back tree, and then he was cleaning that up. And then this past week, I was coming home and he was taking out the ones in the front yard. So then we helped him finish up the last one Saturday, mowed the lawn. Sunday, so I didn't go see my dad over Father's Day because my mom had heart surgery that previous Thursday, which she's doing fine. She wouldn't let us stop her from making us breakfast when we went to visit. So I'm not going to argue with an old Italian lady. Not old, but you know what I mean, older.
Old. Call Matt fat. Call your mom old.
You just don't argue with that.
I mean, I'm going to assume his mom is around my mom's age. They're old.
Yeah. But she's, gosh, she'll be 70 next year.
My mom is not as old as yours.
Anyways, so had breakfast with the parents, and then
Gen X conflicts. My mom's younger than your mom.
Yeah, I know. We went to my niece's dance recital, which was really interesting because only like the family is allowed into the building for each kid, and the kid does their dance, and then that's it. We were in and out before we were even supposed to show up, like for the dance recital, and so we came home and just hung out. But it was a good weekend, relaxing. Got some yard work done, and some video games.
Cool. Jason.
Relaxing. binged the first 3 episodes of Doom Patrol season 2.
Okay. What's Doom Patrol?
It's a DC comic. They're
Live action?
Yeah, live action. This is, like I said, season 2. It's weird. It's just a little zany. It's goofy. It's a lot of fun, though.
Cool.
But doesn't it have Cyborg from
Yes,
from Arrow, or not Arrow, but Titan?
From Teen Titans to Justice League. The characters. It's that character, Cyborg.
Yeah, but I thought it was the same actor. Did they change actors? No, it's
a different actor.
Okay, my bad.
So
nobody wants any tie to that property. The movie is just that bad.
What, Teen Titans or
no Justice League?
Justice League. Oh, okay.
Was the one in Justice League the one from? Wasn't there? There's one in what is it? There's a WP show.
Oh no! So the flat
isn't there?
Yes, but that's a different one. It's not.
So that's completely different. So unlike Marvel, DC's just like, we let any fucking actor play any fucking character.
Yeah. They did have a crossover. Right. They had the Flash from the movie appear in the Flash show. But it's very DC doesn't. It's just.
They don't do forward thinking.
DC was obviously run by the same people who made Stadia. They really had no idea what they were doing up there with the big boys.
I mean, I think that the difference between DC, it took a long time for Marvel to get like a clarity of vision, but when they got it, they fired on all cylinders.
I think that was the DC tried to catch up in a tenth of the movies, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and DC was just like, well, we have to do this now. Like we can't plan for it. It has to be done now, and that's when mistakes get made.
But yes, Doom Patrol is another superhero team. It has Timothy Dalton is the main character that brings them all together.
Cool.
And then there's
is he like the Nick Fury, I guess?
Yeah, in a sense.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser's in it. Did you watch that show White Collar? Or remember it? The main character on that's in this.
Okay.
Alan Tudyk was the villain in the first season.
Okay. So what's there's
Cyborg.
Are they patrolling Doom? I mean,
no, they're kind of Alan Tudyk. His character kind of narrates it within. Okay. It's like an Inception type thing, and he gives them the name, kind of just like as like mocking them.
Oh, okay.
But there's the Robot Man, Invisible Man, Crazy Jane, who has 65 personalities, and they're not like real superheroes, like flat like costumes, the whole thing.
Right.
They're just kind of, and like Brendan Fraser's just foul mouth and just disgusting and rude and just. It's a fun show, though.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said before, I was in the mountains with Reba, and we took Bagel. We were there Friday to today. It rained to a saddening amount, but it broke enough for us to have a little bit of dock time and grill food. We also played some board games while we were up there. I won my first ever game of Bananagrams. That was fun. And then we tried to learn a game that I had picked up a while back called Legend of the Five Rings, and it did not. Well, it failed because we got to where we got everything set up, which was surprisingly difficult, like for a setup of a card game. And then as we were going through like just the phases of a turn, Like that took an hour. So like we didn't even get a full turn, and we're just like, I don't know if I have enough breadcrumbs to get home. I think we're just kind of done. And then we played card games and did that. But yeah, so Legend of the Five Rings did not go well, despite looking like a really cool ass game. I just don't think it's for us. Other than that, we went around town a little bit, picked up drinks, and we went to one of those like Dairy Queen places that's hyper local and not a chain. It was called Dairy Twists. And I think I had a pound of vanilla soft serve ice cream, so that was fun. And yeah, now we're back, and I'm ready to talk video games.
We got some of that rain. It was weird.
Yeah.
like it poured here, like poured, but I'm talking like 2 to 3 minutes only. Yeah. Like it was so weird. Like I got out of the shower and like we had the curtains that were closed, but like it was like extra dark. Like what the fuck is going on?
All of a sudden it's one of the
absolutely pouring. By the time I got dressed and walked to the kitchen, it was like sunshine. I'm like, wasn't like a sun shower. It was like a full on thunder, lightning. I'm like, what just happened?
I didn't dream that. That
like I literally walked from the back of the house to the front. It was like, huh. I was like, do I walk back there to see if it's still raining over?
Or do I want to just live in this reality right here?
I'm gonna stay up in the sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah, so why don't we talk about games? Moose, how's DC?
Violent. So Tuesday rolled out season 2. Well, the previous Tuesday rolled out health and balancing things. They buffed some stuff
and the new Manhunt, right?
Well, no. The previous Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not this past week, but the week before. And then this past week was season 2 with the new Manhunt.
Okay.
I'm already level 26, 27 in season 2. And then I completed the Manhunt. So the Manhunt's done. And also
now is it still incrementing like each of the 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna do each of the 4 and then you'll get a 5th. And I think it's really interesting because like they gave us you remember like the shock trap thing?
Yeah.
So they're killing the final guy and the whole string of things gives you a healing version of it. And I'm like, we have the chem launcher, we have the drone, we have the hive. Now we're going to have this. It's like
life traps.
It's like, I mean, well, or just like healing extensions, like, you know, a wider range of healing, I'd guess. Because, you know, there's disadvantages using the drone because if you're in heroic, they're going to shoot the drone. Yep. So then let it fly around. And then, like, the chem launcher doesn't last as long. And then the hive, you might have to move cover so it's left behind, you know? But, been farming gear and stuff, getting a bunch of exotics drop. And I also got one of the last specializations. I was working on Firewalker. I haven't done anything with the build yet, but the Firewalker is like the flamethrower and then basically walking turret. But I had to do, you remember the Pentagon missions, man? Yeah. I did the Pentagon mission where you had to shoot the drone thing, the big, huge-ass drone thing out of the sky. So I opened up 2 True Sun boxes in that and got 2 epic backpacks out of the same run. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. They're not better than the one that I had in my stash because that was a god tier roll. Like everything was maxed on it. So I just basically scrapped them for component parts so I could reconfigure other exotics when I found them. And then yesterday or streaming, was it yesterday? Maybe, no, it was Saturday. I was streaming Saturday, and I had a Lady Liberty drop, which is a submachine gun dropped off of just a regular resource. It was really weird. Like, I was just doing a regular resource convoy capture, and that dropped. And then I did a project to get Maniac, which is a rifle, and then I was helping Marco run through a mission to get gear sets because he's trying to get true patriot sets, and
Okay.
I got another Maniac there. So epics seem to be dropping pretty frequently. Marco hasn't gotten any yet, but I mean he's only been playing for like 2 months or whatever. So I feel like it's proportional to the amount of time that you play, because I haven't seen this many epics in like ever. I don't think they've ever naturally dropped for me. I maybe had a pair of gloves naturally drop for me.
I think I had one naturally drop and there was no way I could use it, or it was just not like, and it was pre-30. It was pre-30 when it dropped. So like it dropped at like, I think it dropped at like 26 or something, and I was just about to get to 27. I'm like, this is gonna be useless to me anyway. And then I crafted the one for the platinum. We have to craft.
Which I think is actually Liberty.
Yeah.
That's the pistol. It's like a Desert Eagle pistol.
And it's not very good at all.
No, and they took away so you used to be able to use the stats off of your guns even when they're holstered, and they took that away. So basically like your holster whippers just don't mean shit.
Yeah. So. I
So.
mean, it's nice that I have a sawn-off shotgun that will do 1.2 million for one bullet, but
yeah,
I have proper guns that do whatever they do.
Yeah.
Like proper guns.
Yeah, so got some exotics, and then they've released 3 new sets. It's either 2 new sets. I feel like it's 3 because I feel like the ones that have been dropping I've never seen before. Like there's a Foundry set, there's an Eclipse set, and there's like another set I saw, and I'm like, I've never seen that set before. I just never took notice of it dropping before.
Is that like, when you say set, is it like the True Patriot set?
The gear set, yeah, it's like gear set's like the True Patriot set. And then so what a lot of people are running now, which is the new thing, is the Eclipse set, which you get from doing seasons. So it drops during seasons.
Okay.
They run the Eclipse sets, which is a status. You could use it as a skill base build. You could use it has a lot of utility to it. But a lot of people are using it as a status effect build because it basically does what the pestilence does.
That's exactly
in a gear set.
Yeah.
But it is any status you have applied to an enemy and they get killed, it automatically jumps to every enemy within 15 meters, and it increases the duration time by 50%. And that includes pestilence. So if I run with pestilence in that set, pestilence is jumping to everybody in the area instead of just one person. So there's that. But then also the guy,
you have broken this game. You realize
the one guy that was running it was using the gas chem launcher. So you basically shoot the chem launcher and it like releases like basically fumes of gas, and you shoot them and light people on fire. And then he was just basically just destroying them. And I think, I didn't really see what gun he was using, but I think he's using Pyromaniac, because Pyromaniac, the assault rifle, does 30% extra damage to burning enemies. Okay. And so you're going to kill them a lot faster, and then it's going to move a lot faster. I was thinking of using it with my Banshee, the shout, to keep them confused longer.
That makes sense.
So I haven't had a whole heck of a lot of time to mess around with it, but the Banshee seemed to work pretty well because I could shock people in front of me, and if I killed them fast enough, because I was at skill tier 6, which increases the duration and the amount of confusion exponentially. So they're dead before the confusion goes away. Whereas now, like, I don't have a lot of skill in my character. My character's like a tank. And so they come out of the confusion a lot faster. But by that time, I've already built up enough pestilence. I could just get back in cover and they're dead before they even look at me. But
wow.
Anyways, so I was able to like shoot stuff. And then you can watch, like, some dude's like running up to you to do melee, and you kill the guy that has confusion on him, from your banshee, all of a sudden it jumps to that guy, and all of a sudden that guy just stops dead in his tracks. He can't move, and so you can just turn to him and like shoot him. So it's an interesting build. It's going to be. I'm trying to figure out like what to run with. So I was like, maybe I'll use the to-go bag, the Acosta to-go bag, which increases like so much stuff. And it's a good skill build bag. But then I was like, with the Eclipse gear set, I don't have a lot of defense. So I was thinking of still running the chest piece that I have on my True Patriot set, which basically is, when my armor goes, my armor or teammates' armor, when it goes, they instantly get 80% of my armor, not their armor, my armor, as bonus armor for like 10 seconds or something. Yeah. So it allows you to like it'll pop, you'll get the armor, and it's like, and that's like a sign to you to be like, get the fuck behind cover, or try and kill whatever's trying to kill you if you can't get behind cover. But anyways.
Yeah, that's how I take that. I just, whenever I see that happen, I'm like, keep killing.
Yeah, I I don't know what's viable yet, because I just haven't like run with it a lot. So like, it's just some interesting stuff. And then season 2 it's going to give us a marksman rifle exotic, and then it gives us a mask exotic later on. And then at level 48, if you were unable to run season 1, level 48 unlocks the season 1 manhunt missions. So you can go back and do those if you did not get to do those.
Oh, okay. So, well, that's cool. That's a cool, like, sort of incentive.
I was rather shocked at how fast I got to 100 when season 1 came out. Like, I thought it would take me the entire time of the season, but I was done maybe the first month. Because it's 3 months, so this will be until season 2 will be until September, I think, maybe October, and then it'll go October to December, and then start, the new year. But anyway, so it's been a lot of fun. I've been running around with Marco. We've been trying to get him better gear and better guns, and then so like I was saying, that Maniac dropped, and that thing it's off a binary switch. So like you have 2 shots that you fire. So like when you pull the trigger, it fires a shot. When you release the trigger, it fires a shot. If you get a stack of 7 on a mark, the next shot you do does 900% damage, and it's to any target. So you're basically like one-shotting. Like if you're in the dark zone, you're pretty much one-shotting. If you could build up your stacks, you're pretty much one-shotting the rogues, the rogations. So I haven't messed with it, and the guy was even saying running it with True Patriot is awesome. So I was watching the video, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can try something other than pestilence. But anyway, so it's been a lot of fun with that. Besides running around DC, being depressed about the plague, I've been playing. So last week I was playing Link's Awakening. Mm-hmm. I think in Dungeon 7. So I have 2 more. I have 8 to get the last musical instrument to play the song, and then I think you have the actual dungeon for the bird, which is 9. So I think I have 2 more dungeons to do. So loving that. Is really good. I'm actually thinking of jumping back into regular Legend of Zelda on NES, on the classic, because we have it, and then also probably play Legends of Zelda 2, Link's Adventure, and then probably Link to the Past. Like just play those 3 Zelda games. So because I haven't played any of them. I haven't played Link to the Past ever. And I haven't played Link 2 and Legend of Zelda or Legend of Zelda 1 or 2 in like forever, since I owned them, I think. Yeah. So I want to play those. And then I fired up the Touryst the other day and restarted my save, because I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. And so I was like, just going to restart, and having a blast playing that. I recommend anybody who has been playing Animal Crossing, because it's a chill game where they can just, have fun, do what they want to do in the game, and kind of forget what's going on in the real world. The Touryst does the same thing. I mean, it's not like you're farming, collecting stuff, building a house, but like you're just kind of exploring, and there's no combat.
Yeah, it's all puzzles.
All the boss fights are puzzle based, and so like it's cool. Like, and if you die, you just respawn. There's no lives. There's no life meter. Like, you just instantly respawn, and like the game is like stunningly beautiful. Like the voxel art on it is awesome. The colors in it are really great. Like when you're on the beach and the sun is like on the one beach, it looks like the sun is setting, and you just got like all these oranges and yellows, and you're just running around, and it's just awesome. And then like you're learning different moves as you progress. Like you'll learn the running, and so you could do running jumps, and then you learn like a double jump, and or like the very first thing you learn is like climbing, so that you can hook on edges and jump up to get up to higher things. And so I haven't gotten to I thought I was going to get to a point where I would get trapped, where I'd be like, shit, like I don't know how to get out of this. But it seems like the game does a pretty good job of being like giving you ways to, like, if I spent all my money in the arcade trying to get the high scores to get like the most money out of that, but I failed, it seems like the games has ways still for me to build up money to go buy that ability to do a double jump, so that I can progress through like the monuments. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like you can lock yourself out by doing stuff like that, you know? So, but yeah, Touryst is freaking awesome. And I put Astral Chain in my Switch. So I think after Legend of Zelda and the Touryst, I'm going to go right into Astral Chain and try and beat that. Because I'm really loving my 8-bit Do controller, man. Like I was playing with that tonight, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this thing is comfortable to play with. So, but anyways, love that thing. So looking forward to getting more use out of it. Like, I'd rather use that than the Switch Pro controller.
Okay.
In all honesty. So, but yeah, so, and no, not a lot of Animal Crossing. I haven't done Animal Crossing in a while, although I did message you because I'm thinking of resetting my island.
Yeah.
Which
I'm stressed. Be gone, Satan.
I mean, when you asked me that, like, I know I sent you that GIF, like, #why? But I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it.
Well, like, so I got like 14 million sitting in the bank. And I talked to Jeff about it. I was like, dude, if I reroll my island, will you hold my money and some key items for me? Like, I'd love to still have like the turntable that I have, the record player, the hi-fi stereo. Like, I don't need to be able to buy them. Like, I'm gonna, like, when I come back, like when I start my second island and I can do turnip stuff, like I'll do turnip prices. But I kind of want to play the game from the beginning and just do a slow burn, because he asked me, like, why do you want to do that? And I was like, well, because I was time hopping and just to see what that was about. And all of a sudden Isabella showed up on my island. So I never really got the experience of like her showing up the day she's supposed to show up. And then like just fast tracking a lot of stuff. And so like, I feel like I just want to play the game and then just let the days give me what they give me. You know what I mean? Not like be like, here, oh, I'll take this, I'll take that. But I mean, I'll have the money so I can buy whatever the hell I'll want to. You know what I mean? That there won't be an issue with the bells, because I'll just go to his island and pick up my stuff and come back. But or I might have to have him bring it, because he'll have 40 slots and I'll only have like 10. I think you only get 10 when you start at 20. Something
like that, yeah.
It's 20. I think it's 20. Then you can upgrade to 30 and then to 40.
Yeah, it's 2 rows when you start.
Yeah, it's 2 rows, which is 10 each. So 20 first, 30, and then you can find your final upgrade is to 40. And so let's see what happens. But
yeah,
I also want to try and get through my backlog. What really sparked it was I was like, man, I'd really like to rename my island. So I'm probably going to do like a poll on Facebook and Twitter and just see like what, you know, people suggest. Like, I'm gonna put out there what I'm thinking of calling it, and let people add a suggestion if they want on Facebook or whatever, and then, you know, just go from there and just rename it or rename it. What's that?
DC and AC.
DC and AC. I could do that, but
You're welcome.
I'm gonna name, you should name your island featuring Ludacris.
Good. Sven featuring Ludacris. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been playing. So
okay. Well, I think Jason is going to regale us with more Last of Us 2. So do you mind if I go next?
Go right ahead.
I got another platinum trophy this week.
What?
I platinumed Return of the Obra Dinn.
Nice. I saw you playing that.
And well, it was because of my long weekend last weekend. There was one day where I basically went to bed at like stupid early. Like the sun was still up, and I'm just like, I'm gonna take a nap. But then I slept the entire next day. And then Reba and I woke up and we watched Knives Out.
Nice.
And fucking love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Holy shit, that movie was good. But then I'm like, I'd started it on PS4 and I'm like, I'm going to finish this. So I finished it and Reba was next to me on the couch, peacefully sleeping. So I'm like, I'm not going to wake her. And that goes into the game I've been spending the most time with this week. I am now a year into my campaign in Darkest Dungeon.
Nice.
And
Switch version, right?
PS4 and Vita,
PS4?
actually.
Oh, nice. Wow. Because it's cross save, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit, this game, y'all. So I've got a couple of stories, and they're kind of funny and kind of sad, but there are also some things that like I did not understand what was happening. But actually, I'm gonna see if I can pull this up because I would really like you guys to hear this. At one point, I have a group. I'm kind of trying to grind levels so I can get so I can get like 2 or 3 teams of the same level to start going after like the missions that require you to be +5 or +6. Hang on 1 second. And I just want to pull this up. Sorry for taking so long.
What now, Jason?
So here's what's going to happen. So I go on this mission. It's a short mission, which means you don't have to camp. So you can kind of just bring enough things to just sort of, worry about the dungeon. But then I hear this.
Madness can take many forms, but none so contemptible as man's belief in a mythology of his own making. A worldview buttressed by dogmatic desperation invariably leads to single-minded fanaticism and the need to do terrible things in the name of righteousness. This man is an animal, rabid, destructive, and incapable of nuanced understanding. He must be put down.
So I hear that, and I see this face on the loading screen just staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen? So I basically head toward, I think the mission was to explore 90% of all rooms. And on a short mission, I think there's 9 rooms. So you have to hit 8 of them. I'm on my way to the first room, or from the beginning room to the first room. And all of a sudden, the guy attached to the face that I saw in the loading screen shows up, and he is called the Fanatic. This motherfucker, y'all. He shows up, and he immediately puts one of your party members. He puts them in a bag and ties them to a stake, and starts burning them.
That's
and
impressive.
I'm like, wait, what? And so I'm trying to get my wits about me. So I try to attack both him and the stake at the same time, because I'm assuming if you attack the stake, it'll release your party member.
That's a safe assumption.
And the reason I think about that is there's an enemy called the Hag, who puts one of your party members in a pot and starts boiling them. But if you hit the pot, it knocks them loose. So I'm like, okay, that logic makes sense. So I got the first party member free, and they were severely depleted in health. So I'm like, okay, I have two party members that can heal. So I'm like, okay, they're going to be healing everybody instead of just themselves, just to make sure everyone tries to stay alive, because this guy gets 3 actions per turn, and each time he hits like a fucking freight train. I feel like that scene in Happy Gilmore where he's like, you know what? He got a few lucky shots in, but I still feel like I won the fight, even though my party got wiped. So that was sad. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was, but I feel like I need to do another mission and try and end on a win. So I immediately steer clear of whatever area I was in. And I'm like, okay, I haven't really done much with the Color of Madness DLC, so I'm gonna go after something there. I see a boss battle, and I'm like, I feel confident. I have a squad of folks that are one level above the requirement. I have them pretty kitted out in terms of like the moveset I like, as well as they are fully upgraded on weapons and armor. I'm like, we're going in, and we're gonna take the Miller to school. Oh no, gentlemen. The Miller decided, oh, you're gonna come here, stomp on my field, beat up my workers, and expect a bucket full of brownie points. I will kill all 4 of you, which he did, and I was sad about that. So I lost 8 party members in 2 consecutive missions, and I'm like, I was real sad because very much like XCOM or even like the different characters in Invisible Ink, like I started to grow attached to these characters, even though I have really the only investment I have in them is what sort of movesets I want them to have, because you can change that around as you go. And upon doing some research after attempting these fights, I realized that not only was I basically ill-prepared by my party composition, I was also misreading both of the missions. And I learned, at least with the Fanatic, there's the first DLC, the Crimson Court DLC. If you go into that area, there are these mosquitoes that can attack you and give you the Crimson Curse, which is kind of like, for some reason, it makes me think of the movie Blade, where Wesley Snipes does need blood to a degree, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He's a vampire hunter, but he needs it to it.
Yeah, he's a day walker or whatever.
Yeah.
Day walker.
But so the Crimson Curse is basically that. Whoever is afflicted by it requires an item called the Blood. You have to leave that in your shop where you do all your provisions. You have to leave enough vials for everybody that could be suffering from the curse. I mean, I don't remember what the timer is on the suffering, but if you start running out, you have to go back to the Crimson Court to try and get blood. But then doing that, you can get everybody afflicted. And also, if you do multiple activities with, like, if you there's some real COVID-19 vibes here, but if you have a couple of members of your party with the Crimson Curse and a couple that aren't, and you do enough activities together, all of a sudden the other two can start it can be carried over. which
They
is
were breathed on wrong.
yeah, exactly. Which is, I think that's fucking perfect from Red Hook Studios. I think that's a cool fucking idea. But the fanatic specifically will target any party with a member that has a Crimson Curse. So if you want to go fight that asshole again, just bring some afflicted people with the Crimson Curse, and he'll show up basically like saying he wants to burn anybody with the Crimson Curse to the fucking ground. And I think also
So he's a cleaner.
Oh yeah, he's a cleaner. He's a zealot. He's a fucking asshole, and I'm pretty sure there's fascism in there as well. But this game has its hooks in me, basically to the point where I'm probably I might actually start writing about it, just because I feel like my hero barracks is full. Like I can have 29 people that I can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them, like especially the ones I have that I have investment in, all of them have like sort of seen some shit in my estate, which I call Willowthorne. Why, I don't know, what came to my head and I just went with it. So I think I might try and write about just my like a travelogue on my site and see where I can go with that, because fuck, this game is so goddamn good, to the point where like Reba saw me playing it. She's like, so what's happening? I go, okay. Starts here, ends here, and this all happens in about halfway through. She's like, yep, I need to I'm gonna go get wine. You want wine? But yeah, Darkest Dungeon, so good. I'm going to platinum this game. I'm going to 100% it. I'm going to beat the fuck out of this game, and I don't care how long it takes me. It is so much fun. And I will say this: if you do purchase, get the DL. If you don't want to get the Crimson Court and Color of Madness DLCs, get the character DLCs specifically. Those are free, if I remember correctly. I don't remember all the individual characters. I know the one that I'm specifically super fond of is the Shield Breaker. This hero is cool as fuck, but they're also pretty powerful with regards to clearing out dungeons. But if you have to camp, that's where the risk reward comes in, because you have to sort of risk your party to fight their visions. When you camp with the Shield Breaker, there's a chance that you will get transported to a desert world and you're fighting 4 gigantic snakes that they're not pushovers, and if you can't sort of manage the fight, you can get overrun and wiped pretty fast. I haven't lost any characters to them yet, but I'm kind of just waiting for the time where that happens. But the Shield Breaker class is super, super fun. The one sort of thing I would pay attention to is I think all of their moves sort of move you around the party order. So like I tend to keep them at the front, and then I'll use a move that'll push them back, and then the next time they go, I'll use a move that brings them forward. Yeah, I was talking to Captain Canada about, he just sort of reached out and was asking how I was doing. I said, you know what? I think I might be a strategy game fan, or at least I'm having this sort of genre of games just sort of awoken in me, because I've been playing, this, and I do love the XCOM series, and I really like Invisible Ink. So, and I guess roguelikes up to a point are strategy games, but I think I'm really starting to find my footing in this genre, and I kind of want to go further. So another reason for me to get a PC, I guess. That's enough out of me. Jason.
Oh, hold on. The just for so the listeners or viewers know, the only one that is free is the Musketeer.
Okay.
The Shield Breaker is $4. So,
Okay. So you want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, let's do that real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
1 second.
You should do the travelogue, but don't make it look like a real travelogue, so people actually, when they Google like travelogues, it comes up, and then they're like, "What the fuck is this place?" Before they're like, "Oh, it's a video game."
Visit the Willowthorne Estate. See all sorts of eldritch horrors. Contract the Crimson Curse.
Publish them all in October. People are like, "Oh, it's Halloween."
Visit the darkest dungeon.
Decay Logos had that aspect that you were mentioning about the shield breaker at the camp, but
Okay.
Decay Logos had it at every time you went to rest.
Oh, really?
There was one point where I had there was a chance every time you camped, you'd be attacked.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a dream though. It was like you'd actually be attacked, and you had to fend off
there's
the
that.
attack.
There's actually that in Darkest Dungeon too. But
And there was a part where it was like, I think 5 attempts in a row, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm not camping. Like I was like, I need to heal, damn it. Like it says, I think I had written about like, it's supposed to be a chance to be attacked, but it shouldn't be every time.
Yeah. That's it gets frustrating. Like, I haven't done a long mission in Darkest Dungeon because of that. Because if you I can get through the first set of camp without being attacked, but then when you actually need the second one and you can't heal properly because you get attacked, all of a sudden, like, you're basically just wrecked for the rest of the mission.
Yeah.
It's super annoying. Do you want to count back in? You want to edit that part out, or?
Yeah. I mean, count back in.
Okay.
No, it's fine. We could leave. I mean,
We'll leave it.
we could leave it.
Whatever.
Leave it
No
in.
idea.
So Jason, now that Moose is back, tell us about T-Lou 2.
T-Lou 2?
T-Lou 2.
T-Lou P2? It's a new Star Wars character. T-Lou P2. Main character of Star Wars Squadron. Out in October. Good night.
And
That's my time.
I've finished T-Lou P2.
Okay.
Ask me anything. No.
Give us the obelisk review. No.
I you know what? I was thinking about writing a review. I'd have a check with my editor. I don't know if anyone's doing it, or I would even do it on my own. But what I was struggling was, this is a type of game where you don't want to spoil it.
Right.
Like so I actually kind of understand the whole embargo to the last 12 hours.
Sure.
And I think it was revealed in gameplay, not leak trailers, like actual trailers. You do play as this other character, Abby.
Okay.
But I think that's what they didn't want you to discuss. But it's not like, oh, you play with her for like a half hour. No, like I put my final, well, not final, but when I finished the story, I was at just under 25 hours.
Okay.
At least 11 of that was as Abby.
Okay.
So I also realized that's why people didn't like it, but I find that's unfounded because it doesn't make sense. Like, why you didn't like playing as her? Like, other than you weren't playing as Ellie?
Right.
I was gonna say I could see people having an issue if she wasn't as strong or wasn't as capable as Ellie, but if they're,
well,
even
it's
level.
interesting. She had a different type of skill set in some ways. Like it wasn't like exactly the same. Like Ellie had this weapon, Abby has this weapon. Like they actually made it different. They were kind of, I mean, same mechanics and all, but no, this was, I finished and I was just like, wow, I don't know, like, I was like, how do I process this stuff? Like, I haven't played a game like that in I don't know how long.
How do I feel? How do I do this?
No, it just was like this. I think the story was like, our buddy Jeff asked if I like this better than God of War. I think they're completely different, so it's very hard to. I did like this better, but the best way would be God of War is like a unbelievable action movie that everyone loves. Like this is like a mini series on HBO that like built up over
time.
Like the length is still the same, but this definitely felt like a longer journey to the end. Like God of War, you kind of knew what was coming. Like, but there was also no tension, so to speak. Like there were parts I was playing, and it was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was like 1 a.m, and I was like, I'm going to continue this tomorrow.
Yeah.
It wasn't scary. It's just tense.
Yeah, you're just like, I need to come down off this high so I can get some sleep. You know?
We're gonna take a break because
yeah.
And I was like, a few times I was like, well, I made the good call there because like I definitely caught air off my chair. There were a few jumps. If that happened at 1 a.m, probably wouldn't have went to bed ever.
Right. Well, I think that. I mean, it's interesting that you say that because that's pretty much what I've heard across the board. Like everyone's, regardless of the split opinion around this game, pretty consistently people have said it's a very difficult game to marathon.
Oh yeah, no, because like I think I put the same amount of time in Spider-Man. I beat Spider-Man that weekend. Came out on Friday. I was done Sunday night. I think I had the platinum by Monday night.
Jesus.
He like freaking destroyed that game. Anyways.
It's probably why I didn't play the DLC.
Yeah, because you were so burnt out on it, dude.
Even though it was like a month later. But I took breaks, which is definitely odd for me. I don't generally take breaks other than like, okay, it's probably time to go to sleep now. Like I took active breaks and just did something else. I was like, this is like, whew, all right, I'm going to take a break. It definitely, and it wasn't a slow burn, but it was just like something to like you're like, wow, oh wow, and like the tension, like it's one of those like you watch a scary movie and you're like, oh, I know someone's jumping out, and then they jump out and you're still scared. You're like, you knew it was gonna happen and it still like freaked out.
They still got you.
It was like, damn it. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Wow.
It just was, I thought, my only complaint, and this is obviously a spoiler if I write a review, for the review, there's a dodge mechanic. There's no lock-on mechanic. And when you're in tight spaces in the game, it doesn't work well. You can't see shit.
Okay.
You dodge and the camera goes, oh, we have to dodge too? Let's go the other way. It just was the only thing not, but it was weird because
it's called a dodge roll, but in this game it's a dice roll.
There you go.
It's weird because it did work at times, but there were certain scenes, so we could call them, where you had to like, it wasn't like a lot of times like a clicker come at you, one dodge, come back, kill him. There were parts where like dodging was a part of the fight. Like it wasn't
Oh,
When
okay.
he
It wasn't
dodged
an
once,
escape. It
kill.
was used to like
Yeah,
fight
there was
the
it
person.
was a
Okay.
prolonged fight, and
Yeah.
I feel I
I'm
don't know
following
if
you.
it was where I was located that it screwed it up, or they just couldn't get it like because it depended on the space you were in. But that's really I thought the animation throughout was just. I
Yeah,
mean, the art,
like
the music, the whole,
Best looking game on PS4.
probably. And usually that's not something that catches my eye, but that I think it was because everything was alive. Like you could see something in the background of like God of War, but you're not interacting with that background. This
Yeah.
I bumped into a fire extinguisher and it fell off the wall. Like it caused the sound or there was a ledge that I kind of got too close to and like you'd see rocks kind of tumble down.
Okay.
Like things like that.
And it seemed like a very natural sort of
Yes.
reaction,
Yeah.
like environmental reaction, rather than like Hitman, where if you run into a table and shit just kind of pops off, or like an any VR game where you drop something and then everything sort of goes.
Yeah, it just was. I mean, it just had everything, and people were praising the accessibility and some of the things they added for people who are hard of hearing or have trouble seeing. They even have a slow motion mode for people who aren't quick enough to like process combat.
Oh, okay.
It will actually slow up combat, like almost like Matrix style. Like I don't know if it's that. I didn't try it. I don't know if it's that slow, but it's significantly slow. It's almost like kind of quasi bullet time from what I hear.
Okay.
But it's like a constant. You don't have to activate it. It's combat starts and you're kind of in it.
Well, that's cool.
Oh.
I mean, I'm kind of happy that people have championed the accessibility of this game because, Lord knows, most games don't go that far.
Like they even have one of the you can change it to enhanced viewing. It's really for people who are like fully colorblind or nearly blind. It actually colors enemies like a red color, allies like a blue. Like it, you can't if you have no trouble seeing, you probably shouldn't play with this. It's very hard to see. It makes it worse if you can see. But they even added stuff like it's basically a sonar to find collectibles.
Okay.
All right.
So when you finish the game, we all know you like to trophy hunt. You'll probably get the platinum in this, and we all know that this platinum is easier.
It's not easy. I take that back from last week.
It's easier than The Last of Us 1.
I was saying easier than The Last of Us 1 is where I was going with that. I didn't say easy overall, but do you feel like where did you finish trophy wise? Were you like at a good percentage?
I'm only at 27%, but
that's still like 10 times better than if you finished.
Yeah, Last of Us 1, because you could feasibly finish the first one and only get one trophy.
When I finished the first one, I got one trophy.
Yeah.
No,
but anyways, go ahead.
I might. When I say it's not easy, it's tedious. So people like saying, "Oh, PlayStation has another easy platinum." I said, it's not easy because you have to upgrade all your weapons, and you have to get all the upgrades. You have to do a second playthrough, but not a full one. But you have to do a second playthrough. There's just not enough
crafting materials in game.
Yeah, there's not enough upgrade stations because that was the trick in the first one too.
I read like after it's like, oh, you should upgrade the later weapons first, so that way, because you can't when you start New Game Plus, you get all your weapons, but you can't upgrade them until you get to the point where they would be unlocked.
Oh wow! So you basically have to hoard upgrade materials.
Right, but playing through, I didn't look at the guide. I did.
Right.
So it's like, I think I'm in a good spot. I mean, granted, you could skip all this. There's a lot of cinematics. Not like where it's like annoying, but I think if you skip them, it'll cut quite a few hours down in total. So it probably won't be as bad. I don't think I have to play that far in. I think I'm looking at another maybe 10 hours if I were to do it, which isn't bad.
Okay.
I figured I'd even throw it on very easy with the slow motion. Skip the cinematics just to get through it.
Yeah.
There you go, dude.
Apparently, the upgrade materials stop appearing once you are fully upgraded on one character. So kind of like here's your sign.
All right.
Like,
That's
you're
cool.
you're done on this part. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Leave. Move on.
And there was no parts in the game that I'm like, I don't want to do that again.
Okay. I think there was one in the first one where there's that room that's just, I think there's like or that floor of a building that's like 5 or 6 clickers just standing there. And
I remember that.
You have to stealth around them. And it's really, I think on the harder difficulties, the tension is actually real but also like if you break stealth, it's over. But I know like if you get to the point where you only have like one clicker between you and the exit, you start to sweat, but just because you don't want to do that again. And I think that speaks to the not so great execution of stealth in 2013, but that's 7 years ago. We're better now, hopefully.
Yeah, they like there's things like you break stealth, like you could throw a brick and stun something and kind of get a jump on them.
Okay.
You can get back to stealth. It's not like you just hide in the grass, but like you can kind of like jump around and go into cover, and like it'll take them a second, so you can kind of sneak up the other way. So they definitely made a fix to that in a sense.
Okay. So when you break stealth, is it actually reasonably fun to try and either finish the area or get back to stealth?
Yeah, you can, because like when you're you're not facing like 20 guys in one room, so like you could break stealth and like you'll kill the one enemy right there, and another's in the room, might take shots at you. You could kill them. Someone across the street will hear it come running, but they haven't seen you, so you could kind of hide from them. Yeah, and just go back into stealth in a sense.
They just know someone's there.
Yeah,
which is cool. So, so how many? So I have to ask, how many dogs did you murder?
I think 5 or 6.
How bad did you feel?
Pretty bad every time.
Okay. And how many names did you hear called after you murdered somebody?
Quite a bit. Like that was kind of cool though that they named like you take someone down and like they got Tyler. Like you hear like the enemies like patrolling, like
fuck Tyler.
What? Yeah. Like they named all these like. No, the first time you take a dog down, you're like, ugh. But then like there's other times like you're sneaking up, you're like, shit. Do I shoot the dog first or take out the guy?
Yeah.
Crap. What do I do? What do you do? Yeah, that was. But you can pet the dogs. There are other dogs you can pet in game.
Okay, good. All right, fine.
There, you could pet a dog within the first 20 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
If you could pet a dog, game's all right with me.
Can you pet the dog? Yes.
It's one of my favorite.
I love that Twitter.
That's one of my favorite Twitter accounts.
But I mean, obviously, it pertains to all animals if you can pet them or not.
Oh,
but
sure.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sure. I mean, yeah, like they'll actually say like, they'll actually go into games that don't have like dogs or cats. They'll be like, you can pet the such and such in this.
Yeah.
There's also a guitar mini game. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah,
about
people have been talking about that and lavishing a crap ton of praise on it.
It's a cool feature. Like, so it'll show notes in a dial, and basically you have to move the stick to it tells you what note, and then you strum up and down on the touchpad.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Basically, every time you do it, Ellie's tuning the guitar, and then she'll play something. Because it's not the same guitar every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you find a guitar somewhere, and you're in a rest area.
Does she play like a slowed down acoustic version of a 90s grunge classic like every video game trailer nowadays?
No, but she does play a version of a song. Let's just say there's a girl in a diner gets pulled into a black and white comic book. Popular.
I mean, I love that song.
Wait, she plays the theme song to Sin City?
No. She plays Take On Me.
Oh, you mean Take Me On?
Take Me On. Yeah.
No, I thought it was Take On Me. By Aha.
Take Me On.
No, it's Take On Me.
I'll be gone in a minute or two.
You're right. I think you're right. Well, either way.
I'm trying to fuck with you guys. It's fine.
It is Take On Me.
It is Take On Me.
Shit.
It is Take On. Yes.
Fuck out of here.
I know it's Take On Me, dude. Motherfucker, you don't want to go down this road.
I'm not going down this road, but I'm not going to be trolled by you.
Oh damn it! You're no fun.
She does. She sings it to one of the other characters. It's kind of cool. But the guitar thing is.
It'd be awesome if she did that before a fight.
And then finishes, and it's like,
who's next?
No, yeah, just every aspect of people complained about the inventory, but you're kind of out in the wild. How much inventory? I always found my inventory was full, but I had everything I needed.
Mm-hmm.
It was people. I think people just kind of look to for complaints in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel it's easy to be I need this and not that, and go through your inventory and get rid of stuff if you had to make room? Or
no, you don't make room, but basically, so at the end of the game, I had about 7 things I can craft. You can carry 3 Molotovs, you can carry 1 gun silencer. What I found was if I saw, you'd see items and it would say full. You look in your inventory, see if you can craft something, then pick it up. But
right.
You didn't burn through this stuff. You weren't just heaving Molotovs every chance you got. There was a lot of times I didn't use my Molotovs or my trip mines. You can expand some of it, but I didn't feel and you usually pick up ammo. A lot of times I would switch to the gun the enemies were using, because then you could pick up the ammo they dropped.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the upgrades were cool to the way you upgrade your guns is actually they did the workbench again, but Ellie would break down the gun. She'd pull the barrel apart if she was trying to make it more stable, to add a counterweight or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Or a muzzle. She'd obviously suspend reality. Oh, this stuff's just on the bench.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, it's a workbench. It might as well have it.
Mm-hmm. That bitch in Division 2, man.
Huh?
She's always man, you walk up to the crafting station. So there's multiple ways you can get blueprints in Division 2.
Right. And
it's completing level 3 or higher control points, doing projects, or buying them from a merchant. Well, when you buy, she only carries 1 at any given time, and then she doesn't restock for 6 days. And every time you walk by, she's like, it'd be really great if we can get some crafting materials around here. I'm it'd be really great if you could resupply, you fucking bitch. And then I just keep walking by. Like
That what with the crafting, the game would tell you if you had upgrades available before you went to the bench.
oh, that's
So
Oh,
it's
that's-
kind of cool.
that's
So you
cool.
didn't have to really like waste your time like looking to see all your. Because once you like when you have all your weapons, like you'd have 5 and like you can see which upgrades are. But like the game would tell you with like an icon that you had one that you could do, or
is
you
it an
had like
annoying, like reoccurring telling you have something? Or
No,
like,
it's
just
like
that icon?
on the HUD there was a wrench.
Okay.
If the wrench
The
wasn't
wrench
there,
just stays there, and that means like, hey, I've got an
upgrade. If there was
Okay.
no wrench, no upgrades were available because
Okay.
you had to collect these like parts that could be used only for that. So
Because I
which was
feel
kinda
like
cool.
I feel like some games, it's like if you get something and it's a notification, like I feel like this need to like clear it. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just and it's
Yeah,
like
no.
okay, if it's just a wrench, I can kind of leave that, but like Division 2 can get kind of annoying, and it's like you have upgrades at the I'm like, I'm not going into the dark zone, bitch. Stop telling me I have
Yeah.
upgrades for the dark zone because I'm not going there right now. Like
Or
stop. Like let me
Your
get rid of
backpack
these.
is full.
Yeah. I'm
That's-
like,
that's-
I already
That's the
I already
bane of
know
my
about
existence
this.
in that game. And then you find
Yeah.
out your backpack's not actually full. It's your like component stuff or whatever. The
yeah, but like
mods,
you
you're
can
just like,
you can get rid of that stuff pretty easily. So
yeah,
it's just-
but it's just like an extra step.
Yeah, I know.
It's enough to be silly.
yeah.
It's,
Oh no, I agree with you.
It's probably also due to like that's the thing that I fill up more than the actual like backpack.
Yeah.
Like more often than not, that's full.
Well, yeah, because you're never really looking at it as you are
Mhm.
your regular inventory. So,
Yeah.
because like you're like, oh, and then you're like when it says it's full, you're like, oh shit, I've got components to look at. Like instead of like,
geez, I haven't looked at this
Yeah.
in I don't know a week, so now I have to go through. Oh wait, I'm trashing all that.
yeah,
Yeah,
So-
no, this was a complete game.
Okay.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I am looking forward to playing it, even though I'm gonna wait a while for it.
Yeah, like I'll be honest.
Uh,
Yeah, it's been difficult. It's actually like just hearing people talk about it and just seeing the polarization among critics. I'm like, man, I kind of want to play this and see where I fucking fall.
Yeah.
But also like,
I've found very few thought out negative reviews. It's
Mhm.
weird. Like a lot of the, like, I'll see like Neil Druckmann tweet something and then people are like, oh, too bad you couldn't make a good game. But like, don't elaborate. Like,
yeah,
why
I mean,
is
I
it
think
not a good. I know a lot of, there were complaints about the story felt strange. It's hard to argue that the story didn't feel strange because it's crafted in a way that it would be spoilery to explain it to someone who didn't play.
right.
I can see where people feel it didn't work, but like I think there was a purpose to the way they did it. It was interesting how they did it, and
Yeah.
all came to at the end in a really cool way. But I haven't heard like I'm gonna actually watch Swan Wave's Skill Up's review now that I'm done.
Oh, he was the one that did not like it, and everybody was like saying people were paying them for the reviews, and he's like, nobody paid me for my review. I just didn't like the game. You know,
Yeah.
And
or
then he
whatever.
went on to say like people didn't. He said I didn't like it, but check out other reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, who loved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. I think the negatives that I've heard have not actually been about the game. Like no one has said this is a bad game.
Right.
They've
I haven't
they've
heard
said,
that either.
They've said that like the story didn't sit well with them, or they didn't like the brutality, or some people have
It's brutal.
some critics have been like, I'm living in a pandemic now. It's not exactly easy to play a game where there's a pandemic going on.
I play one every fucking day of the week.
But also, that critics got tired of that game a year ago.
That's true.
That's
true.
So
That's true.
I mean, and like, I cannot sit there and say that critic is wrong, because that's their experience, not something about the game. And you know, and the Metacritic review bombers can all fuck off, because they're just assholes anyway.
I mean, I could say there's no agenda, but I mean, maybe because I'm not closed-minded, so I didn't, but there's no, like, I didn't feel like it was shoved down your throat that Ellie's gay. But maybe it's because we knew she was gay. They established it in the first game.
Well, I think they established that and left.
But like, exactly, why does it?
It wasn't in the first game.
But to us, like, why does it matter? Like, whether she's not, like, if she wasn't gay, like, they would have replaced certain characters with other characters to fit the story. Like,
I mean, there was that. I mean, it was the DLC.
It was.
It wasn't the DLC that I think that's when you found out that she was gay.
You could kind of tell. I feel like going back and thinking about the game, like, yeah, there were some points where you were like, yeah, makes sense.
I don't remember. I didn't
matter.
I remember when you were looking at the collectibles, like, she would talk about Riley, and I think she mentioned Riley in the cutscenes a couple of times, but I don't remember the context. It's been too long.
I thought one of the collectibles, Ellie collects these action. They're like, it's like a comic book trading cards.
Yeah.
But like, I thought it was cool because they're fully fleshed out. Like, the front of the cards, whoever the comic book character is, the back shows like vitals, like their superpower, what they look like, their height. Like, it was pretty cool. Like, the cards.
Oh, it's like the old Marvel cards.
Yeah, but it was like fully fleshed out. Like, front had like the picture, the name. The back's like a little bio, like a whole thing.
Oh, that's cool.
That was, yeah, a lot of the stuff you collect, like, she'll comment on, like, so it's not just like some short, it's filler, but I think it's filler in like a lot, like the echoes in the Division. If you don't care, like, who cares?
They don't mean anything to you.
But like in Ellie's case, sometimes they had safe combinations, like, oh, we made a run for it, but we left you, the stuff's in the safe. The combos, our apartment plus your apartment number.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, so I had to go outside to look at the apartment numbers in the hallway and then go back in to figure it out. It was kind of like, it was a cool little feature they did.
Yeah. And I think that was present in the first game too. Well, maybe not specifically like that, but I think that way of world building was present. Like, Naughty Dog make good games, and yeah, end of story. They make good games. You don't have to agree with the labor practices to admit that, but yeah, like, getting back, mentioning the Division, if you don't need to know what any of those echoes say to move on, because really that's all about hide behind cover, shoot bad guy, usability, loot, and that's it. So pretty high on Last of Us. Play anything else?
Little Warcraft here and there, but I pretty much, Last of Us was I never exited. Like, it was I just put it in rest mode, went back to it. Didn't really, that was all I played on that. I didn't pick up the Switch or the Vita, just pretty much Last of Us.
Okay.
But now that Last of Us done, I can go to the Borderlands DLC.
Yeah, which Margo says is pretty good so far.
Came out Thursday.
I've heard it's pretty cool. I've heard. Oh, is there a new one, or?
Yeah.
It's coming out Thursday, or is it already?
No, it came out this past Thursday.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I thought I heard people have been talking about the Borderlands DLC. Okay, so anything else news-wise, other than apparently everybody in the industry we like is a shitbag.
Well,
It is the.
Mixer.
Well, I was just going to move to the good news. It's the 10th anniversary of PS Plus.
Whee!
Oh, so that's what you were talking about as a 10th anniversary. I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah, so we're
You
getting
thought the
NBA
game, maybe?
2K20.
I'm like, well, when you said Erica is the PS Plus game for the 10th anniversary, I'm like, 10th anniversary of what?
Yep. So July, we're getting NBA 2K20, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the second one, and the bonus is Erica, and there's, I think, a theme we get.
Okay.
They're all pretty. They all got like really good ratings. So I mean, you're. I mean,
I think I've had PS Plus the entire 10 years too.
Nice, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know. I obviously have not. Only since I bought my PS4 in 2014 December, but 6 years is nothing.
I think I had it because I was stockpiling. I didn't have PS4 on launch, and I actually had like 10 games before I got it because they were PS Plus games. I just clicked the download, and then I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah. NBA 2K20's, I mean, that's the current year game. I mean, if you don't like basketball, you don't like basketball, but that's the current. Like, we got MLB 19. We got the show. We didn't get the newest one. Granted, it was March, but I mean.
If I could play basketball for free, I might actually do it because
I'm actually too.
I do miss a basketball game.
I haven't played one in like forever. I mean, we had, what was it, 2K18 they gave us free.
Oh, I probably didn't even download that.
There was another NBA game that they gave us for free a while back, and you know, I was in a stream chat being like, oh hey, this is what's up, and the guy's like, I just bought it for like $5 like last week. It's like, well, you only paid $5 for a $60 game, so still you're winning. So like,
exactly.
Here's a good rule for people who complain about that. Do not buy games on the last Wednesday of every month till you find out what the Plus games are.
Right. I mean, that's true. That's a good rule. Just don't do it. Unless you just don't care.
If you're interested in buying a game and it's close to that last Wednesday of the month, wait.
Yeah. Now, it might not always be your game, but sometimes you might want to buy NBA 2K and they'll give it to you for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people in our industry, in the industry we love, that we
there's not a lot of trash out there, man.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think it shouldn't be. That's not all gamers. There are many more gamers than there are trash bags, but it doesn't look good when some of the
I think names. I think the problem is because the industry is so young, and as far as like setting up standards, and like companies like running and like a lot of the stuff you read on Twitter is just, I mean, and I agree with it. Like, you know, it's just like, it was just these man children or whatever running a company, and they were doing whatever they wanted to do, you know, and nobody was saying anything, or nobody was like, well, that's the wrong kind of behavior to have. They were just kind of like idolizing them and just kind of like falling into, you know, in line, and then you couldn't say anything because it's like you'd lose your job or whatever, and so it's just become a cesspool of toxicity, and it's just like, man, just, you know, it's not right. Like, it shouldn't happen.
It's not right.
It shouldn't happen at all. And you know, they should be burned at the stake.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Like,
so it's pretty crazy. It's a lot of them right now. So it's
in the 3+ years I've been with Reba, she's a psychotherapist, and I've learned a lot about what trauma is, and I've learned that, unbeknownst to me, I've actually suffered some. I've not been on the business end of some of this abuse. But what I have learned is like the easiest complaint is that everyone says is, well, why did they do something right then? Why did they do something at the moment and knock this out where it starts? That is a short-sighted question in the way that you might not know trauma is trauma until later. Yeah, you talk about that.
Yeah, if you ask that, chances are you probably haven't experienced it because you would know better than to say.
Yeah.
It's not. But like Moose said, a lot of man-childs out there.
Yeah.
And their fans are man-childs that don't know better and just... And
the people around them are like, he's making us money. We can't really stop it. We don't really want to stop this. It's further fucking proof that like there's forget gamers, forget gaming. We as a species have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And until we are willing to confront that in ourselves, we're never going to get better. And I'm saying we because it's all of us. And you know, it sucks like that we have to sort of look at games or content that we love, and we look at the people who've created that and done horrendous things to people, and we have to reckon with that. And unfortunately, like I'm gonna break a few hearts here. This ain't stopping.
No, it's not. It's gonna keep going.
This is gonna keep happening. And
I feel like I'm hoping for the victims, you know, and people that might be in that position currently, and it might not be happening, but there's the chance of it happening. I'm hoping that what's going on right now can help remove that from the situation. You know what I mean? Like remove the abuse or the, you know, what those people have to go through to try and just like do their job.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, it probably, you know, some people are crazy and they're still gonna do it, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's just horrible. So, I mean, I know what was it just last week? Well, last week, Mixer got shut down.
Yeah.
So we didn't even talk about that. So like, no notification to the streamers, no notification to the employees, but Microsoft canceled it and turned over. They partnered with Facebook.
Yeah,
which pretty much every person you watch on Twitter talking about is like, I would never stream on Facebook. Fuck that shit. Anyways, so because you can't make an account, it's like it ties to like a real account. You know what I mean? Like, whereas in like Twitch, you can have some. I mean, not that you should be a dick, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like, you have some anonymity there. But so there was that happened, and then there was also a perma ban on a lot of streamers that had sexual allegations against it. Well, not perma ban, but there was a ban.
Yeah,
might be perma, might not be. I don't know the logistics about it, to be honest, but there was a ban on a lot of well-known streamers because of that. And there was also a Twitch blackout movement last week where a lot of streamers were like, we are, you know, to support this and to support the people that were victimized, we are not streaming for the day, to show Twitch that like they need to do a better job of policing their streamers and policing the behavior that goes on their platform. And so that there's that insanity, and then there's the insanity of all the people in the video game industry being accused and people coming out, you know, and I think it's very brave of the victims that they can come out and talk about it, you know, but I feel like something needs to be done for those people, you know.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's name gets ruined or whatever, then that's on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You did what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there is such a thing as rehabilitation. You know,
Sure.
but I mean, I feel like our society has a problem in believing in rehabilitation. But there's also the fact that, like, if you've been doing it for such a long time and you know better, then, you know, that's just my opinion.
Well, I think in terms of rehabilitation, especially now, it's definitely more. You can't just talk the talk. You do have to walk the walk, and you have to walk that walk for some time. And while you're walking that walk, there's going to be a ton of individuals looking at you going, I don't trust that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you reap what you sow.
Right.
And I
It'll
mean,
it'll catch up to him one day.
yeah. Yeah.
The truth always comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a difficult situation, and like with the rehabilitation, like I mean, if a streamer hurt someone, like if it was a guy and he harassed a woman and she's coming out now, fine, but like Twitch needs to get their shit together to like police this, like.
Oh yeah.
Like they crack down on, like, and I'm not saying it's right, don't get me wrong, but like if someone tweets something 8 years ago that's not, like, you read there, you're like, ooh. But like if they've never done it since then, I don't think, like, then you're basically saying, oh, you can't grow. You said that once.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, and that's what I was trying to say, like rehabilitation and like growth. Like you could say something and then like 3 months later be like, holy crap, I was completely and utterly wrong. That's not the way I think anymore. And then like 4 or 5 years down the line, someone's burning your bridge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, right. I agree with you, Jason. Like there's a point, like there has to be like an ability for like growth. What was that one incident where that guy dug deep for like
James Gunn?
Yeah, the James Gunn one.
James Gunn.
It was like the James Gunn tweets were pretty awful on their own. I mean, I'm not saying he can't grow. They were horrific, actually.
They were pretty awful, but like they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they were 10 years from the time.
But I also think like I don't think his were serious. They were said in a joking way, but they were still terrible for like a joke.
They were,
way.
That's
where I'm kind of going with that. So it's kind of like, you know that that's a joke and all that, and then like you're gonna dig it up from 10 years ago. And then my thing is like, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, I think that like, I remember there's a guy I follow. He writes for Waypoint, and when the James Gunn thing came out, it was like James Gunn should be allowed to have growth because all the things being dug up about him are 10 years old or upwards of a decade. And then everyone was like, but what about this guy? What about this? What about Louis C.K.? What about this? What about this? He's like, yeah, but this all just came out, and he's not. It's different because this is all happening now. Whereas the people going after James Gunn, like, he didn't have anything present. It was just like, oh, we found this from 10 years ago. Bye.
Yeah.
Like it's very sight unseen. I mean, it's very different when you're Louis C.K., you know, exposing yourself in front of people and then them, developing the bravery.
Plus, he did that. There's also, we don't know if he exposed himself to other people who aren't brave at this point to come forward. The James Gunn thing, you could dig through his Twitter history if he didn't delete it. You found this one from 10 years ago. You didn't find anything from 9, from 8, from 7, from 6, 5. You didn't find anything after that, then it's like, okay, then maybe he was younger. It was a bad joke.
Younger and dumber.
It was a poor joke. Like you should be like it happens in sports too. Some of these draft picks, it comes out like, oh, when he was 14, he tweeted this. It's like, really? He's 14?
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've said anything, but just me, who I am. I've never said anything horrific like that, but I'm sure between friends, we've probably called each other things that, like, out of context, it's like, wow, that's pretty. Hell, I think in some of our PSN parties, we've said something to each other that's like, but it's.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I mean, Moose and I have had our insult wars on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure I've gone over some lines.
Yeah.
and even Reem was like, "Wow."
Messages from my family, but that's
even Reem was like, "Wow, you really went for it there."
It needs to. I mean, it's like you said, it's not going to stop anytime soon. But the platforms need to be better. Like,
yes.
Like, I think it's good you're banning people. They're coming forward, these allegations, and some are probably proving true. But you also have to bet, like, people keep saying, like, oh, well, but Twitch keeps Alinity on this service. She's, like, tortured her cat and done stupid. Like, you got to get rid of it's like, it's not, don't focus on just the one. Like, it makes your
you gotta like, take the whole, like, bad behavior package.
Like, bad behavior.
Wait, is Alinity's the one that, like, kicked her cat?
They threw the cat over her shoulder.
Now, okay.
I know where you're going with that, Matt.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like me picking up, like, my cat petting for a while and it wanting to get down and being like, all right, well, and just kind of tossing it or doing, like, what it likes to do.
Yeah, literally.
Right. How do you know that the cat doesn't enjoy that is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's
sometimes it's a context thing, and that's the problem is, like, a lot of the stuff is just like, it's a blanket thing across the board, and I think, no, it's like a case-by-case basis.
I mean, did she like Charlie Brown try and swing at it with her foot? Like she was kicking a field goal? Or was it just like a...
The cat was on the keyboard. She literally...
threw it.
But it wasn't like a...
It wasn't like she, like, got 3 feet from the wall and said, "Bam!"
Yeah. Anyways.
I don't know. It's just,
I mean, if she did that with a puppy, that's a
but
different thing.
But Twitch does what Twitch does because Twitch is the only streaming service that's worth a damn.
Yeah,
and that's
it
the
has
problem.
zero competition.
There's zero. Mixer's nothing. Facebook. I think, though, what Facebook has going, if people are successful on Facebook, are people going to troll with their real names right there?
Yeah, that's true. Unless they make a secondary account.
They will, because there are terrible people out there, and they have no problem saying the shit they say, and then you click on their profile, and it's them. They're like, but that's who I am. Mm-hmm. But it makes it easier, like Twitch. If you're a view and you say something stupid, and Twitch says, no, you're no longer on Twitch, there's nothing to stop you from creating a new account with a new email.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
there's no verification
unless they IP ban you, which is a very, very difficult. Well,
right, but if
a more difficult thing to get around.
Yeah, and if you're just harassing a streamer, you're not going to get IP banned. You'll just get you're done. You can't watch them anymore.
Right. I don't know. But in good trolling news, I came across something this weekend that did make me laugh. Are you familiar with Parler? Either of you? I'm not either. But I saw someone tweet a picture of a Travis Tritt message. Yes, country legend Travis Tritt. He tweeted something about he wanted to welcome at Charlie Daniels to Parler. And you should give him a follow because he's a musical legend and a true patriot. At Charlie Daniels then posted on Parler, announcement incoming, be ready, patriots. And my laundry's done. And then there you saw the replies. I hope you're running for office. I can't wait to hear what it is. And then he said, Black Lives Matter. And that immediately pissed off everybody on Parler. And then someone goes, obviously this is not owned by the real Charlie Daniels. And then he said, trans rights ain't going away. And then you see, then that's when the people come out going, kill yourself. How the fuck can you do this to us, Charlie Daniels? Whatever. And then it's like, what? I thought you believed in free speech. And then someone basically put out the vilest threat that I can't even remember right now. Well, it probably wasn't even that vile based on the parlance of our times. But then someone reached out to Parler as a service and said, we represent Charlie Daniels and we wanted the account at Charlie Daniels, but someone beat us to it by a couple of hours. So we're trying to post messages from at the real Charlie Daniels, I think. And Travis Tritt has mentioned at Charlie Daniels as the real Charlie. And basically it just turned out that all these Charlie Daniels fans got trolled, and it made me giggle and feel warm inside. So sometimes the internet can be used for good. Just want to say that. And if you don't know who Charlie Daniels is, look up The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I think that would be all you really need.
I feel that was in Guitar Hero.
Some other good stuff.
I think that song was in Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah. I think it was in one of the Rock Band ones, too. It's a fucking hard song to play.
It was in the PS3 Guitar Hero, so if
fucking
that was
hard
3
game, man. Fucking hard song to play.
Could imagine.
Yeah. I remember on some VH1 show in the 90s, I think it might have been called The List. They put that as one of the top 5 karaoke songs of all time, which I think was dumb. I wouldn't want to karaoke that song.
Neither would I.
People
just like the song, so they want to sing it, and then they fail miserably because they're drunk. So
I mean, it's sort of like when if you're a really big Led Zeppelin fan, the worst song you can karaoke is Kashmir.
Yeah.
Because you're just standing there for 7 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great song. I agree with you.
No,
it's a great song.
But
you're right.
Good headphone jam, but geez, I am.
Jimmy Page is over there doing his thing.
Yeah,
you're just like,
oh, wait a minute. This Robert Plant really kind of sat out this one.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin are good. Okay, I think we've had enough. The last thing I'm going to say in the realm of abuse is listen to the victims because they are there something brought them there, and the only way we can get to the root of all this is if we at least fucking listen. Jason, anything else?
I'm good. Moose, you want to take us out of here?
Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Ray Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #RiseAbove. This has been an episode of Story Route Zero. Thank you for coming along on this journey. We sincerely hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we enjoyed having you. Once again, you can find everything we do at StoryRoute0.com. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute_0, or you can email us at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. If you'd like to hit us up individually anywhere, you can find Moose at Sven, that's SVHENN, everywhere on social media. That's PSN, that's Twitter, that's Instagram. You can also find him on Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall at GimpyJ, with 2 Y's at the end. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, and he also has a website called whereisthepausebutton.com. Captain Canada is the only Story Route Zero exclusive. He's the only one you can only find right here on the show. As for me, I'm Infinite_Rewind everywhere I'd like to be. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's PSN, and Twitch. I also have my own website, InfiniteRewind.com, where I do all sorts of weird writing and rambling. Check us out at all the places. And remember, you are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. But for now, it's back to the real world for us. We will see you on the next one.